Hey, howdy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hey, it's time. It's Krazy-Ass Fridays, and well, hey, guess what? I'm all loaded up with crazy. What about you? Hey, do you got enough crazy going on? I have to ask, man. Well, that was a quick killer chromo. Hope y'all are doing well. God bless you. Oh yeah, and truth be true, you know that crazy Catwoman virus, that is a real thing. I don't know where you're getting all that information from, but good Lord Almighty. All right, hey, we're waiting on Revolution Radio to kick in. We're listening. I got a station bumper rolling in there right now, and well, we're gonna get ready to kick the pig and get all this craziness started. I'm telling you, it's yeah. You know, as crazy as the world is, I can't top it. I can't even get close to the fucking crazy in the world today. Ah, God bless, man. I am telling you. Let me get the my favorites up here. Let me 802. Dang nabbit. I gotta find my bookmarks for today's show. We got some, of course. Yeah, crazy is the world of the way we go today. By chaos, we shall rule. Man, I am telling you, they're laying down some rulers, all right. It's crazy. All right, looks like we got about 30 seconds till we go live on Revolution Radio. And then we'll kick in all across the board on rumble.com, locals.com, facebook.com. Where was that other one? Oh, yeah, revolution.radio. Gosh, rumble.com. I forgot about that one. Did I say Rumble? I don't even remember. I'm just filling time. 8 seconds, 5, and a 4 and a 3. A 2 and a 1. Yeehaw! Good morning, everybody. God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. It's time for the Revolution in the Morning show, and it's Krazy-Ass Friday. Come on down and join us at the revolution.radio. Rumble.com. YouTube. That's the other one I forgot. YouTube, Facebook, rumble.com, locals.com. Yeah, don't forget, always like and subscribe and share, and don't forget to go over there and visit the Trump Assassination Files website. Also, lots of good stuff and clips posted on where? Posted on Facebook. We just recently got unbanned for some reason. Seems that I seem to get banned in all these places that say we don't ban anybody. Well, I wonder what's wrong with their medulla oblongata. Anyway, let's get over here and see this. Yeah. Binga bang bada boom. I guess we'll start with the flame and the fire and the smoke and the haze and the fog of war. A drone attack on Russia's Tbilisi oil refinery unleashes a fire so large that it can be seen from space. Russia and Ukraine are continuing to trade blows on key oil and energy sites. It's no surprise. This has all been a war about energy. Okay. Um, yeah, the refinery owned by Rosenfeld suffered a major attack. Uh, attack before in March of 2025. Anyway, authorities have canceled classes and called for a state of emergency and asked people to stay the hell out of the smoke. So anyway, Russia's defense ministry said they downed 207 drones overnight across multiple regions, listing Belgorod, Kursk, Bryansk, Krasnodar regions, and the Black and Azov Seas. This is somewhat of a normal night in the now more than 4-year-long brutal war after Russia got schooled, so to speak, by Victoria Nuland, by the CIA, by the Pentagram, and the rest of this corrupt intelligence agencies that we have. And let's not forget the U.S. State Department. Okay, when Russia was trying to have good faith negotiations with Washington and with NATO and with Germany. Those Minsk agreements signed by the Germans and NATO and the Americans, they were just talk. They were to give Ukraine time to set up this trained Western fighting force. After the color revolution overthrow, in Ukraine. It's a sad state of affairs. The United States of America was then in negotiations with the Russians about all of these color revolutions out over the advancement, literally the continuation of a hot cold war against Russia and against China to what? To become a one world government and a one world power. This is now the mission of the fucking United States of America, the Pentagram, and the rest of them. I'm not saying that it should be. In fact, I'm saying that these motherfuckers that have hijacked the government of America to use it as a international whipping boy to literally go down and beat everybody up that doesn't fucking submit to the Rothschild banking dynasty motherfuckers, okay? And where does that lead us back to? That leads us back to Tel-fucking-Viv, okay? God bless America, man, but I'm telling you, as my dad used to say, people got their heads screwed on backwards. I don't know what's wrong with them. I think that's SOP today. I think that's standard operating procedure. That way, when people do notice how fucked up, how stupid, how downright fucking disgusting our federal government, our state government here in Virginia, and now our corrupted Franklin County Board of Supervisors, okay? You know, I normally, you know me, if you've been paying attention, I normally chew, the ass off of Washington, D.C., and all these Republicans and Democrats at the upper echelons, and and of course, I have this belief that the federal government is completely lost to the American people. Okay, it is now that the CIA and the deep state are moving their puppets and minions into leadership roles in states. Then they can literally then overthrow the Constitution and overthrow the fucking states. There's gonna be a motherfucking civil war here in Virginia if these stupid motherfuckers don't get their head out of their ass. I guess the best place to start is my local county board of supervisors, who have been in secret meetings for more than 2 motherfucking years with, I guess with organizations and people and corporations and business people that deal with zoning laws. I mean, we live down here in that fucking country, okay? And they're going to limit the number of chickens motherfuckers can have on their property. They're going to limit the number of roosters motherfuckers can have on their property, okay? Meanwhile, the guy next door, he wants to put a 37 megawatt solar rental farm for 35 motherfucking years on just in the view of the front of this, outside the front of this fucking house. Man, they strip logged it a couple years ago. It's been a boom for the fucking coyotes. I think they got a couple of cats outside, but they're going to be some. They're going to be. I got a hole puncher for the coyotes. We're going to take care of them, and they won't be howling too damn much longer. But our county board of supervisors, as I said, has been in secret negotiations and meetings with organizations that help counties do zoning. Okay, we're talking about basically United Nations gentrification and the installment of these dictates from way above down to the poor fucking people that are paying high fucking property taxes, and they say, well, you can't even have chickens, or you might be able to have 4 chickens. No. And I'm going to tell them, I said, I really don't give a rat's ass what you pass, because I don't recognize your authority. Okay? Anyway, so they're doing all these rezoning things. A lot of it is because of what? They've got input from where? From solar companies and from this new parasite that is sucking America dry, the data center, okay? So our county board of supervisors has been getting this backdoor information, and I don't trust the motherfuckers one bit, okay? I watched them use used a waterfront commercial property to help establish the tax base that all the residential properties fucking pay. Okay? They did that in 2010, 2016, you know, when all the property values tanked at 25% here in Franklin County. Somehow or another, we were doing a tax reassessment, and all the tax reassessment, instead of dropping an average of 25%, remember that's an average, it only dropped like 12 to 14%. How did they magically do that? They statistically fucked the entire county, okay? This is why I do not trust any government. Governance is not... Governance is not literally secretly meeting with corporations who have vested interests in the county zoning laws, who are corporations on paper, who are not real motherfucking people, voters within the county. Okay? It's just, it pisses me off. And I haven't, and I'll be honest with you, I've been paying attention to some of it on Facebook. That's where I've been getting from the discussions and stuff in the groups that I belong in. But every step of the way, they've had multiple zoning meetings now. And 80, it's just like the SAVE Act. 80% of the voters are standing there saying, just not no, but hell no. And let's just go to No. The voters are saying no. But because they have got all this input from these corporations and these other and other individuals, I guess it's like United Nations zoning, United corporate whatever codes of whatever that they fucking motherfucking following. Okay, I wish I knew more, and I'm gonna have to I hate to say it, but I'm gonna have to look into it a lot deeper. Cats fighting outside here. Probably trying to hump each other too. I'm in heat. Never good. But yeah, our local zoning is it's hijacked, just like everywhere in the United States. And you have this trickle down gentrification that is going on, and people are they're not even slow walking into tyranny anymore. They're 10 years down. 10 years, there's a fucking, you fall off a 4-foot fucking step. Oh, you fell off the loading dock. Okay, maybe that's a good description of it. Okay. And so after 40 years, you've went from having these freedoms to, to literally, you're crying about not having your freedoms. It's no different than the trickle down chump change that we get from the fucking government and all of this other shit. Our local congressman, Morgan Griffiths, said, look what we did. Yay! We got money to help offset. This is such a fucking farce. It ain't funny, okay? The federal government sends monies to local school districts, and to counties, I should say, and these counties get a number of dollars of a share of, like, I think Virginia itself got like almost $800,000 from this fund that the federal government set up. So our retarded representative Morgan Griffith, a Republican out of Salem, Virginia. Okay, this retard says, "Yeah, look what we did. We had this to help offset property taxes." Okay, property tax increases and blah blah blah. Which fund the schools allegedly. Okay. The schools are nothing but a fucking shitstorm anyway today. A psychological, destructive trap. If you have a chance, homeschool your kid. Don't let them get mind washed and then mind fucked, and then you're wondering why your kid is doing what he's doing. Oh, man, I'm telling you, it is it's not a brave new world. It's a freak storm new world, man. I guess when they said climate change, they didn't mean, climbing. I'm just asking. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. Man, I am telling you. A reel come out the other day on Facebook from an Iranian hacker. Okay, he says he has proof the U.S. government took out Charlie Kirk. Okay, now I'll be honest with you, I don't know if the U.S. government took out Charlie Kirk. Okay, because what I'll tell you is, I don't believe that the Mossad, CIA, deep state scumbag motherfuckers are the U.S. government. We, the people, are the U.S. government. And we can overrun the motherfucking Capitol any fucking time that we want to. If the American people chose, you dumb fucking sons of bitches. Just because you got 30% of the people so fucking fucked up they don't even know what sex they are, and you got another 30% of the fucking people that are so fucking loyal to you because of the psychological construction of the dependence of the psychology that you have built into that system. Now, my personal thing is, Mossad, CIA, take out Charlie Kirk? Yeah. The other question you have to really ask then, did Charlie Kirk unknowingly or knowingly become a, what do they call those things? A not just a psyop, okay? But this deep state CIA, FBI political political counter pro intel, co-intel, counterintelligence policies, political organizations, okay? Was and is Turning Point USA being used as a, like Q was. I mean, that's what I see. Remember, what's her name? Charlie Kirk's wife, Epstein girl. Okay. Charlie Kirk told the Israelis no for the $100 million plus, blah blah blah, and was pretty much saying no to Zionism and no to the genociders. And magically he gets killed. And this kid is, this kid says he did it. Truth is, he may have not even hit the broadside of a fucking barn door. I'm just saying. You don't know because of the, what I saw and what my instinctive gut goes to, okay, is almost exactly what this hacker describes, okay? And there were plenty of videos, which all have fucking disappeared from the internet from what I've seen. Nobody is saying anything about it. Nobody is talking about it. About the Charlie Kirk microphone that was right here. He had a lavalier mic, right? Pointed where? Pointed right where he was shot. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, I haven't even got to that part, Johnny. The poop and the Muslims and I really think they got to put something in the water. I mean, for people to be so fucking retarded across the board, they have to put something in the water. Maybe it's can't even say it right. Fluoride. Fluoride is supposed to act as a neural sedative. And like a scopolamine effect, where you can literally have this suggestion of the suggestion stuff, man. And I really think that most people are basically psychological animals, man. I'm just saying, okay? It's crazy, idiocracy, stupid, beyond belief, man. And the thing is, in America, we're allowed to believe, we're allowed to talk, we're allowed to feel what we want, even if we're just a fucked up idiot, okay? And believe me, I see plenty of them. I don't, that's one thing I don't do. There's a lot of people that would call people out or this or that, and I'm like, hey, everybody's got a right to free speech. Everybody's got a right to live as they choose. And as I watched, everybody has a right to die as they choose. And I've seen too many people, waste away and die. So, yeah. Hey, good morning, Driver Dan. God bless you. Hey, Flippy, I see you over there. Yeah, I see you. Uh, yeah, I was in a battle yesterday. Where's the other one? Just a little one. Lots more of that to go, though. I don't know what all I'm going to do yet, but I got to fix something out there. But yeah, here it is. Okay, if let me see, let me get it right. This is one, two. Okay, it'll be this one. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this is what the Iranian hacker had to say about the death of Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk was never shot with a bullet. He was accidentally decapitated by a piece of shrapnel from a miniature explosive planted inside his microphone. The device was supposed to blow out his chest cavity, but the explosive malfunctioned. Instead of detonating downward, it ripped upward and took his neck. That is why security immediately ripped every device off the stage. That is why the security camera behind Charlie was yanked from the wall on live feed. That is why.
And what I will say is all what he is saying is absolutely true. Within a second after Charlie Kirk was shot, they jumped over and they grabbed, because his mic and stuff, when they took him down, when he died, and right there on the spot, okay, his microphone and his lavalier and stuff, you could see it was all fucked up. Okay. They got rid of all of that evidence, and there were several videos about this.
Why they literally stole his body from the scene before the coroner could arrive. That is why Netanyahu went on television within minutes to say it wasn't Israel before anyone had even asked. That is why the FBI took forever to find the killer. They had to rush manufacture evidence to match the lie.
He also dropped a bombshell. FBI top brass, including Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, may have sacrificed American lives to cover up the crime of the century.
The explosive itself was purchased in May 2025.
Look, that's utter bullshit, and that's utter propaganda. You know why? Even if Charlie Kirk was murdered, and, probably was, by who? The Mossad, the CIA, the FBI, I don't know. But calling it the biggest crime in the century is a fucking injustice, you dumbass. That's why I said, propaganda is so pathetic today. It's not even funny, okay? But yeah, the truth is starting to roll out here, and the reality of the world that we live in has always been in question. Okay. The January 6th pipe bomber was hit with more charges today, or yesterday, I should say, with that will, how should we say it? Well, will make it more harder for him to escape justice. Okay. So, yeah. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton says, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. I'm just going to do what I said. Donald Trump says he's going to take me down, go to prison. If they allow that, I'm going to take half of Washington, D.C. with me. And I have always agreed that is fine. That's okay with me. We'll deal with the other half afterwards, okay? Anyway, the dominoes start to fall as Hillary Clinton Hillary Clinton has informed federal prosecutors because they're doing a re-examination of Russiagate because, well, you know, the FCC and everybody just settled so quick with Hillary Clinton. It's literally like another set of Epstein and Hunter Biden justice, okay? But in a phrase echoed, Hillary Clinton says, if I go down, I'm taking everyone with me. Anyway, one person came to the Justice Department and they reopened the debated Russia investigation. And, you know, revisiting allegations and circumstances surrounding the 2016 presidential election when candidate Donald Trump was spied on by the Obama administration, and what would you call it? An intelligence-wide effort was made through Justice Department, really, in all honesty, in many cases, to let's just say to stop Donald Trump. As Pete Strazak, who should be sitting in fucking prison right now, said to his lover, Lisa Page, it's like an insurance policy in case you ever need one. That's what all this was. It was a coordinated conspiracy to overthrow the president-elect and the president of the United States of America. Yeah, so anyway, Tim Kaine. Hillary Clinton said, well, don't look at me. I didn't do anything. Tim Kaine, my vice presidential candidate, who, listen, this is just, everybody knows this is a farce, okay? Everybody knows this is a big fat lie. It's a political hangman's job on Tim Kaine. Everybody in the world knows that Tim Kaine is just Kamala Harris in a white version with balls, okay? He's a worthless, dumb motherfucker that nobody would want to be president. And that's why, just like Kamala Harris had to be dumber than Joe Biden, if that was possible, Tim Kaine, you know, dumber than, you know, so dumb that they wouldn't get rid of Hillary. But Hillary says, ask Tim Kaine. He ran opposition research. I don't think Tim Kaine ran opposition research, which would mean that it was Tim Kaine who initiated all of the stuff with Perkins Coie Law Firm, Fusion GPS, Christopher Steele, Charles Dolan Jr., I think is his name, Michael Sussman. And I will repeat what I've said multiple times on this show. These fucking sons of bitches in Washington, D.C. do not want to find the truth. Because if you find the truth and you lay it out open in front of them like, look, it's millions of pages of Jeffrey Epstein files. And nobody gets burned. Nobody gets fucking sent down the river. Nobody mysteriously even dies and gets assassinated. Except whistleblowers like Gary Webb, right? Yeah. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you don't know by now, the conspiracy theorists are true 90% of the time. Now we're talking about conspiracy theorists. We're not talking about these government hacks that come out and do counterintelligence operations. And believe me, the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, They have the biggest propaganda organization in the world. ABC, NBC, CBS, fake Fox News. I mean, listen, to have a what do you call it, a communications monopoly in America, you have to be one of the chosen spook approved networks. It's sad. It's pathetic. But it's just true. Anyway, so Hillary Clinton now she says the claim, the directly connected dossier with Tim Kaine. Okay. So remember, Tim Kaine is not up for election this year. It is our Senator John Warner. Yeah, he's a long-time spook man. I just think he's part of the corrupted CIA spook system. Senator Warner from Virginia. Mark Warner, I think is his name. But Kaine says, I have no idea what she's talking about. I've always focused on policy, not these political games. However, Clinton's words, simple and cutting, had a set the stage for a storm that was about to break loose. Anyway, yeah, we know and understand, okay, that this was Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, Tim Kaine. In all honesty, Tim Kaine may have been 5th or 6th on a list, okay? I'm just saying. We still don't know. And the U.S. government is afraid to investigate. That is why Inspector General Atkinson literally, allowed the partisan fuckface, Eric Ciaramella. Eric Ciaramella, he should be tried for treason and fucking shot, okay? That's what I believe. Colonel Vindeman, Mr. Lard-ass motherfucker, he should be spending 50 years in the fucking brig, if not hung for sedition and traitor and being a traitor. We need to quit lying to ourselves in America and understand that there aren't a few bad apples in government. And it's not a few congressmen here and there. It's wide. It's deep. It's stench is overwhelming. Believe me, I know what I'm dealing with. God bless, man. I gotta get some nose plugs today too. Reminds me. But yeah, it's God fucking stupid motherfuckers. Okay. Anyway, the heart of the matter is the question of who is ultimately responsible for the dossier and the Clinton campaign and Fusion GPS, and we know who that is. His name's Mark Elias. Mark Elias should be doing 30 years in fucking prison. He shouldn't be free. Along with, and let me say this. I have no problem throwing every motherfucker who deleted their data that was on Robert Mueller III's special counsel team. That team, in a coordinated fashion, deleted all of the information off their phones. Now, personally, my personal belief is none of that's really gone. My personal belief is that every bit of that can be recovered if the government chose. Okay? If the government wanted to. All right? That's all I'm trying to say, okay? And the reason they don't want to is because they don't want their gaggle of rotten, crooked, fucking Democrat seeds for disruption and destruction in the future that have been now scattered throughout the government and throughout the private sector, and of course, I think most of them went into either back into law or into a university setting. Yeah, where I guess it's like congressmen getting the payoff, man. I'm telling you, I have just run up to here with it all. Okay. Anyway, the truth is, all these people are going to be scapegoated for the system. I don't know what Bill and Hillary Clinton, if they have a fucking clue yet. But the second that they have lost all their drag, they will be literally drugged through the streets and anal probed with a cattle prod the same way Muammar Gaddafi was done. And then the invasion of Europe was, well, it was on. Yeah. Maybe that's a fitting end for Hillary and Bill Clinton to, literally be mobbed to death and then cattle prodded in the rear. They certainly should be spending time in prison. And when the truth does come out about all of this, listen, the government doesn't want to know, because there's people like John Baker III, former FBI lawyer, that then went to Twitter, run by Jack Dorsey at that point. He went to Twitter and ran the what do you call that shit? The company-wide censorship, where it had gotten so bad. And remember, that was all in coordination with the United States government, okay? Yeah. So YouTube is YouTube. If you had a fucking half a brain, you would be reaching out to all the people that you banned because of COVID, because of orders from the government. So YouTube and the federal government violated the freedom of speech and the civil liberties of others because the government lied and people told the truth. As far as I'm concerned, how many people died because of that? How many death sentences should we have for fucking that, okay? Yeah. Man, they had a trial the other day. There's a guy on trial now for murdering like 5 or 8 year old little girl. He was a delivery driver, picked her up and talked to her and, asked if he was a kidnapper, and he strangled her and raped her. I understand why Islam may use a high cliff, okay? A 10-story building at the very least with rocks and cement at the bottom. This guy should be taking a fucking header off that motherfucker, okay? He shouldn't be sentenced to life in prison or even death. He should be sentenced to just no life, okay? Period. End of story. We are seeing mass genocide from motherfuckers that are, mental. They say they're mentally ill, but hey, Jeffrey Dahmer just had a few little Vietnamese kids, and he had to do prison time. He wasn't white and crazy. I guess he wasn't black enough. I guess he wasn't crazy enough. It, it's distressing. It's distressing all around. And, you know, you have to understand that Democrats have a policy of letting murdering, raping, thieves, bastard motherfuckers out of prison. Like it's nothing, okay? Like they're not a danger to the community, which in 48 hours to a couple weeks, yeah. They go out and, well, murder, rape, rob, pillage, plunder again. You know, in other societies, in an Islamic society, you know, they'd be beat to half to fucking death, okay? They'd be stoned. And I'm not saying they'd be burning a big one, okay? I'm saying they would be stoned. They would be rocked. Their world would be literally rocked, okay? But not in America. Illegal immigrants and thieving, murderous, raping scumbags have more rights than the average person does. And you wonder where freedom has really gone in America. Well, there you go. The Obama Presidential Center in Chicago is finally here. The ugliest building on the Chicago skyline. Looks like a fucking plug-in port for a fucking Death Star. It must be the USB plug where the Death Star comes down. After all, I think Obama spent most of his time on Uranus. Anyway, yeah, the Obama Presidential Library, and you can only be allowed inside if you are an American citizen. No, I imagine you could if you had a tourist visa or something, or you can't work for them, I guess. Is that how it is? If you're an illegal immigrant, you can't work, you can't volunteer. I mean, you know, they asked for 100 volunteers for people to act as, well, ambassadors. I wonder if they're going to have the Michelle Obama wing ding section. I'm just asking, you know. Is oh, God, this is a phone call that, that I know what it's about. I just try to, you don't have to ignore it. It is, I asked him to call me after 10, but I know who that is for my friend. And I hope you don't bust in here and say, what the fuck did you do? I care about my friends, okay? It's hard to care about people sometimes. At a hand length, so they can live their own life, so they can have their own autonomy. You know, it's tough to, you know, yeah. Anyway, a judge has blocked Trump's White House ballroom above ground construction. These federal judges are just a fucking joke, okay? Now, the federal judge had blocked all construction, and they came back and said, no, I'm sorry, you can't do that. There are secret underground bunkers that are being built that are under the a ballroom, okay? And so the judge was smacked down, I guess, for national security reasons about what's under the ballroom. So the judge has come back and said, well, if that's the case, we'll just go above ground and we'll stop you from making your ballroom. Yeah. Anyway, it's the administration has appealed. So it's crazy. Judge Richard Leon is allowing the administration to continue working below ground construction, including work related to national security facilities. The National Trust for Historic Preservation in the United States is suing Trump administration for U.S. District Court to block $400 million ballroom from being built. Okay. The Trump, let's see, they appealed the order to the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals at the district. Leon had paused the order from taking effect for 7 days. What? I mean, listen, this is modern day administrative lawfare, okay? So yeah. Lauren Boebert, a congresswoman from Colorado, says, "What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Listen, y'all is just horny. Why is everybody in Washington, D.C. so horny? Well, that's pretty easy. Hey, they got a job fucking people out of money and fucking whatever they can get their, whatever hole they can find or whatever pole they can find, okay? Whatever dance they got going down, okay? God forbid, man. I'm just telling you." So Lauren Boebert says, "What the hell is wrong with everybody? Are y'all just horny? What you being so horny for, Congressman?" Oh God, that sounds like a question somebody might ask Eric Swalwell. Yeah, she encourages her colleagues to find Jesus. Amen. Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, Eric Swalwell, his problems have gone from bad to worse, as he's not only, he said he's going to leave Congress, but the Department of Justice now, because of the testimony, a public testimony of individuals about what Robert what Eric Swalwell has done to them, getting them drunk and giving them a Mickey. Basically, it sounds like he had a internship with Bill Cosby. As fucked up as that might sound. But anyway, anyway, Boebert said, Tony Gonzalez and Eric Swalwell were, got thrown out of Congress because both are facing shocking allegations of sexual misconduct. She said, "I'm glad both these creeps are out of Washington, D.C., and I'm sure there are many more that haven't been named yet," Boebert said Tuesday evening. "Look, this is just like the Jeffrey Epstein files. Everybody knows. It's not a secret. It's not some little, it's not some little thing, okay? It is something that that rots the core of our government, okay? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, RFK Jr., the exposés about RFK Jr. still being fed from the pharmaceutical side and the Democrat side and the crazy side. Yeah, RFK Jr., when he was young, he just had he said he had a freezer full of road-killed animals. In fact, one time RFK Jr. found a road-killed raccoon, and he cut its penis off. Damn, RFK Jr. What the fuck? Really? Man, you must have been drunk. But then again, remember, talking about, elite education, elitism, and, people develop differently in their brains, man. I'm just saying, it's just true. Trump signed a pipeline permits to boost U.S.-Canada oil flow. Yeah, meanwhile, Canada has said, we might not even be pumping any more oil down your way. But yeah, it's the easiest and best way to refine it and get it, out of Canada. But will that help? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Nothing is really going to help these fuel prices until the realization that just because of geography, that Trump cannot and will not be able to keep the Hormuz Straits open. Remember all this conflict in the Middle East. All of it goes back to, well, to me, it goes back to Israel. Okay, I'm waiting because I'm gonna have a break pop in here. I'm gonna have to mute it any second. But yeah, it is a strange, new, and frightening world. Okay. And sometimes it's the hardest thing to do is the right thing. There's the break. I'm going to mute it so I can keep talking and keep motor mouthing for everybody over here. Gas theft rising. No, really? I'm shocked. Even in Europe, people with BMWs and Rolls Royces are driving off from gas stations. Damn, dude, you got the Beamer, and then you make the payment, but you can't afford the gas to put in it. Imagine that. Let's see. We'll start with the second hour here. As we come into this part, this new world is with the fuel prices. Now, Donald Trump come out and said gas prices aren't that high. Yeah, everything is that high, Don. And it's that high because the dollar is dying, okay? Because the dollar is dead. Yeah, I will get into a lot of this stuff coming up in the next few minutes. Man. Oh, no, don't. Please, God, fucking stop! These fucking Dr. Mangalas. I mean, look, I understand, but to do gene editing for Down syndrome, okay? Researchers developing a modified version of the CRISPR gene editing tool that in early laboratory experiments suggests that it may have a potential to silence the extra chromosome that causes Down syndrome. That would be good. But you have to pardon me. I just watched half a billion people on the planet or more become guinea pigs because, well, they fucking stupid, okay? Because they have blind trust of somebody that says, I'm the expert. Well, when somebody says, I'm the expert, watch closely, okay? Watch closely and listen and have them explain, why they might be the expert, okay? Now, we're talking about, gene therapy and genetics and stuff like this, but listen, this stuff goes all the way down to plumbers and electricians, to roofers, to construction workers, to pipeline workers, to engineers, to your government, your law enforcement, to everybody, okay? And a lot of people are so ingrained into a system that they see it they don't see the sleepwalking, as our local, as our local board of supervisors don't see the sleepwalking into tyranny. They don't see the crippling and the slow erosion of your rights as a property owner. It's crazy. As I started to talk about this earlier, and I got off track. They gave this money, the $700,000, and this congressman says, "Look at all we did." And by the time they divide it up, right, there's counties in Western Virginia that get less than $20,000 towards their school budgets, I guess, through this kickback whatever scheme, where politicians are supposed to look like they're working to keep your what? Your property taxes down. It's like it's absolute fucking joke. I mean, I think one county got like $50,000. But it's an absolute fucking fraud. It's the government coming back in with a handout to property owners for a political payback. That's all this stuff is, okay? I mean, how can we be giving these counties all this money when we're $39 trillion in debt and we got billions of dollars being stolen in fraud? Yeah, news out of Minnesota yesterday, the committee to vote to investigate and impeach Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison has gone nowhere. It was an 8-8 tie in committee, split by Republicans and Democrats, okay? 8 on each side. Democrats says, no, we can't investigate the fraud. Republicans said, God, we got to investigate it and we got to get these guys out. Yeah, but that's not what happened. Can you imagine that? Yeah. Oh, Iran says the strait is open. Well, imagine that. Listen, Trump draws Marie Antoinette comparison as he leans into the gilded trappings of the presidency. Talk about counterintelligence political operations, right? So Iran declares the Straits of Hormuz is open, completely open to commercial traffic during the Israeli-Lebanon ceasefire. So there you go. Remember, Iran has always said that these two conflicts are connected. Literally every conflict in the Middle East is connected to either Israel or the United States working as an agent of Israel. Okay? So, yeah. Now, as I said before, are we going to have a real ceasefire? Or are we just going to have we're going to have Israeli settlers running around shooting and murdering motherfuckers to steal their land? I want to know when that fucking shit is going to stop. Okay? I want to know when reality checks in and the world knows and understands that Israel treats everybody else in the world as if they're black under apartheid. And that Islam treats everybody, remember, Islam is what? Is a political construct. It is not a religious construct. Sure, it has tenets of religion, but it isn't. It literally is a political construct, Islam. That's how I look at it. Actually, it's more like a cult-style political construct. If you have to worship directly 6 times a day, what do you have? You already have Alzheimer's? You already have dementia? You can't remember what the fuck God you're praying to? You can't remember your ass from the hole in the ground? You got to do it 6 times a day? You got to kneel and bow and, and submit 6 times a day. That's mental slavery. That's not religion. That's no freedom. Nothing in freedom. Okay. Let's see. Yep. No backup information on that headline. Just basically that headline. Okay. Associated Press. Runs the idea of Trump and Marie Antoinette and the gilded trappings of the presidency. Yes, just as Marie Antoinette was caught up in the gilded trappings of the monarchy of France. Yes, don't forget what this is, a psychological argument for what? For off with his head. Why else would you quote Marie Antoinette? Literally. Literally, this is a psychological constructive hit job. So when people read the headline, really the body of the article and the $400 million White House ballroom he's building. Oh my God, he divided attention, a Democrat point attack, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Trump's what the fuck, whatever that ignorant shit that he's trying to build in Washington, D.C., okay? The new Trumple Arch. No. I just say no, okay? Our government is already a dog and fucking pony show. We don't need more monuments for fuckfaces and retards to tear down in the future to claim, oh my God, it's colonialism. We gotta tear it down. Yeah, God, they want to tear it down and put up a fucking put up a statue of Karl Marx. Now, maybe if we had a shitload of pigeons and it could literally shit on Karl Marx, if bats could shit on Karl Marx, I might approve it, okay? But not really. It's absolutely plain fucking stupid. As I said, this is how did the deep state conquer Donald Trump? They conquered Donald Trump because his ego is so big and his thirst for the world to look at Donald Trump as a savior, a God complex, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. He wants that Nobel Prize. He wants to be able to brag and he's all about the reward at the end. He doesn't really give a fuck who he has to step on to get there. What kind of psychological Machiavellianism it is, I can't tell you. Okay? Good thing I waited to $20 billion cash reward. What the fuck? Oil prices are crashing. U.S. is considering buying the uranium from Iran. The 60 kilos, or about 100 pounds, of uranium, of highly enriched uranium that Iran was working on. Yeah. So they want to buy it. The U.S. wants to buy it for $20 million. Oh, they would release $20 billion of frozen Iranian funds in return for giving up its stockpile of enriched uranium. Well, they say there's been, talks, there's been significant movement in the talks. But, in the end, Iran and Lebanon, in all honesty, And here's the thing: if they, I am looking at the possibility of, you know how I talked about that protective umbrella over Iran, that Pakistan and China have already agreed to be a partner should and retaliate on Iran's behalf should they be nuked by Israel or the United States. I don't. I believe that it has to. It has to, and it will end up extending much further than that. Okay. That China will literally build Iran into a weapons platform. I guess is a good description. Okay. For defense, they will say it's all for defense, and they need that defense. And I'm expecting Turkey, the country of Turkey, to extend itself into Lebanon, all the way up to where it meets the Israelis. I expect the proxy state of Syria to literally have they're already cooperative allies with Turkey. Okay. I expect them to welcome Turkish forces in, Turkish air defenses and other systems to literally to shut down Israeli attacks. Okay. As I said, just the other day, Erdogan once again called Israel, modern day German Nazis, and Bibi Netanyahu was essentially Hitler-like. Now, I'm not going to say they are or they aren't. What I will tell you is when I look into the eyes of Bibi Netanyahu and Zohan Mandami in New York City, I see the great Satan. I see evil that is masquerading, and it's bad. I mean, it is, man, it's not end times, because times never end, in all honesty. So, yeah. So, lots of stuff still going on. And, here an update. They have 2,000 kilograms of enriched uranium buried in its mountain nuclear facilities. 450 kilograms of 60% purity of uranium. The Iranians, meanwhile, need the money. Yeah. I think somewhere along the line, countries are going to learn and understand. The truth is, they don't need the money from the West as much as they think they do. Okay? It's as if everybody has been, the best way to say it, normalized in that Overton window. And, listen, we have sleptwalked into this tyranny. And it's not because we weren't aware. And it's not because we didn't see it. It's because the truth is the people are powerless to stop it. And the second American Revolution is probably, yeah. Anyway, so oil prices are plunging. What are they down to? I'm not sure. Will gold and silver rally or will they drop? Well, they're going to rally a little bit. Silver's up to 82, $9 in the week. Gold's up to almost $4,900, just shy. Okay. The commodity markets are being rocked and moved, and crude oil is down $10 already today. Probably expecting it to go down to $75 or $70 a barrel in a few days. Hopefully by Monday, this may or may not be over. We don't know. The other part of that is that airlines across the world are crashing. Okay, and because of the price of gas and the price of fuel, they are dying. Bankrupted Spirit Airlines faces imminent liquidation. They could liquidate and shut down as soon as, well, this afternoon. So, yeah. Secret Service targets thieves stealing SNAP benefits in Texas. Remember, Texas is one of those states that has to pay, was it $700 million by 2027? Because they have allowed people to be on food stamps that shouldn't be on food stamps. Yeah, so there you go. From supply chain risk to national security imperative. U.S. government is now embracing Anthropic's Mythos AI after the AI, when it was let loose on the internet, broke into every website it came across, maximizing vulnerabilities. And of course, as computers learn to talk to each other, they learn, right? So anyway, it's not a common concept, but the government has said, "Oh my God, we can't. We have to get a hold of it. We can't let that out there." So what do? They buy it and they use it on us. They use it on we the people. You want to ask why I don't trust government? Exactly why. The government has proven that it can't be trusted. Okay. In efforts to continued efforts to prove something true that is, I guess it's a theory. Okay, what is dark matter? Okay, it's like asking what is the space between your fucking ears. Okay. People have been attempting to define what dark matter is and what dark matter isn't, and now there are claims that these are relics of black holes from a Big Bang bounce, and they say that solves the universe's mystery, biggest mystery. I'm sorry. I guess I'm skeptical. Okay. I'm sorry. I just think, listen, people are looking for this dark matter. Okay. And, it has the idea of it and what it is and how it is defined has changed as what? As the theories about where it comes from, changes what it really is. It used to be dark matter was like the space between molecules. I mean, let's be honest, even this microphone, it's solid, but it's still made up of matter and molecules and energy, and they have space in it, okay? There's more space in between the molecules and everything in the air. And so in an attempt to understand that, people just said, oh my God, look, because there's nothing there, because they can't see anything there, even though it's an electromagnetic connection, really, in all honesty, in all matter. They call it dark matter, trying to explain something, that they're grasping for. To me, it's like round Earth and flat Earth. Okay, I mean, listen, is the moon flat? Yeah. You ever seen droplets in the air? Droplets of water, okay, or something. they form a sphere. They form a round, something that is round. Okay, all the planets, people will generally agree. Yeah, they're round. They're spherical type. Not basically a complete basics an exact sphere, but like Earth, a squashed resemblance of one. But it's crazy. It really is the world. The world that we're living in has been turned upside down, and people are believing it's the surreality stuff that I used to that I talk about here and there. You have reality, and then you have surreal, and it's like watching. It's watching Democrats and Republicans and their supporters go back and forth, and it is surreal. One, the stuff that they're really arguing about, and it's mind-boggling, the arguments and how they go about it. I'm just saying it's madness. It is true madness. Okay. Let's see. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, there is no fair share. The article just came out a little bit ago. In fact, at the top of the hour. This is by at shiftsovereign.com. Of course, it's got to be about gold, silver, blah, 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 monetary system. Yeah, there is no fair share for everybody. There is only more. On April 1971, Keith Richards loaded his family and his Bentley onto a cross-country ferry and drove south until he hit the Mediterranean. He rented a 19th century villa, called it Nillycrot, on the hillside above a French town. Anyway, yeah. What's happening is the tax bill is due, and nobody is going to want to pay. But politicians never learn, right? Cory Booker in New Jersey backed legislation that would push the top federal income tax rate to 43%. Senator Chris Van Hollen, Maryland, pushing for 49%. Both men described it as they always do, as wealthy Americans paying their fair share. But what exactly is a fair share? And we're supposed to believe that the government will be satisfied with 43 or 49% when historically it was, 80% over X number of dollars? I'm just saying. Yeah, here you go. The marginal tax rate over the map, 91% under Eisenhower, 28% under Ronnie Reagan in 1988, 39.6% under Bill Clinton, 37% sitting today. Yet, regardless of the tax rates, the IRS always collects around 17% of the gross domestic product of the United States. And I just don't believe that to be true either. I believe they collect 40 to 50% of the fucking gross domestic product of the United States of America. Why? Because the government is the biggest part of our gross domestic product. And, all the money spent by the military industrial complex, by the banksters and all of these other, semi-government regulated organizations. They all lie to you in a statistical fashion. Yeah. Anyway, they want to make a bigger pie for everybody, but hence the government's slice will grow as well. Yeah, of course. Remember, the hogs at the trough get more feed if there's more hogs at the trough. All Congress has to do is to get its way is, look, we need a balanced budget amendment on the Constitution. Okay? Our government has repeatedly said that all of the cost savings, and they quit doing this lie a couple of years ago, but all of these budget savings and all of these things and everything else, all what they say, it will turn down it will the budget, the deficit will start to go down when it reaches 50 bazillion fucking dollars, okay? Or $50 trillion. Now, all the Democrat retards, all back through Obama, all they say that. And they know it's all completely wrong. They know it's a big fat fucking lie, okay? I encourage every person that is aware and that has available to be online. I advise you, my advice to you is so you can understand the fucking basis of the problem, because government doesn't understand the basis of their fucking problem, okay? There is something called mathematics and the exponential function. Now, listen, there's a creaky old guy. I like Dr. Al Bartlett from University of Colorado, okay? He has a complete series available on the internet about the use of the exponential function. And what he does, he uses government and government statistics and government ideas and all this other stuff to literally prove that all of this central planning, all of this, this push to consolidate, this push to, as they consolidate, as they spread out, okay? That these planned societies never meet the mathematics that are essentially required for them to work. And a lot of it is because, the exponential function and the percentage of growth over time. A lot of these, we're going to have 5, 6, 7% growth in our community. Well, you're out of your fucking mind. You've lost your god dang gourd, because that's a death sentence. That is something that will destroy your communities, leave you with clogged roads, clogged sewer systems, and schools that can't educate anybody. In fact, in all honesty, that just sounds like where we're living today, where government and local communities don't pay attention to the mathematics. Why? Because they have the golden taxpayer credit card. Yeah, we'll just swipe it and stick the sons of bitches with this 15 million. At this 40 million. This 200 million. And you wonder why we have lost control of the United States of America. Literally, the regulatory code of the land of the free already runs 188,000 pages. Government can't even operate its own systems. Yet they believe that it is their eminent domain, that it is their mission to pass laws every fucking day, every blah, 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 blah. And, the truth is, it should be absolutely fucking hard as hell to pass any law in the United States of America, in all honesty. And the judicial overreach, well, yeah. I mean, we should fire fucking half of the federal judges right now, in all honesty. Now, I don't know if that we can do that or should do that in conservative areas. But what we do know is that liberal jurisprudence has essentially become lawfare in America. All right? Anyway, so yeah. It is a sad state of affairs is all around, okay? Taxes, and because you have big government that has no intention of getting smaller. Let's be honest. Our government has no intention of leaving any of us alone. They have no intention of, how should I say it, of rolling back, the social tyranny that they have been installing in liberal states. Okay? It is so troubling that the cognitive functions and the over-the-top dissonance, the over-top complied negligence, the idea that you just give up your thought and whatever they tell you, you're just supposed to believe. Yeah. Drought. That's right, drought. 60% of the United States is in a drought right now. Franklin County, Virginia. Now we're supposed to get some rain Saturday night and some into Sunday, about a quarter inch, but it is bone dry. Even the grass is wilting over like, help me, feed me. Give me some wassa. Yeah. It's pretty it's pretty screwed up out there. That's what I'll say. Okay. Anyway, the what is it? La Nina or El Nina, which I forget which is which. One's hot and one's cold, right? And now understand that they're supposed to have this like super La Nina, I think it is, of hot air across the equator in the Pacific. And that's going to cause what? That's going to cause a burst of cyclones in the Pacific Ocean. Now, just because it goes out across the Pacific Ocean doesn't mean that as the closer you get to the equator, the more some of that stretch, you're going to have what? You're going to have drought conditions. And, Southwest United States, Georgia, Mississippi, the panhandle of Florida, a deep bad drought. Southeast Texas, literally, 100 miles inland all the way down to the panhandle. Okay? Drought, bad drought. Bad drought in Colorado, Wyoming, western Kansas, and out in those areas. Bad droughts, okay? The U.S. is facing a drought similar to that in 1610. Wow, that's a pretty far back there, Anyway, 60% of the lower 48 is already in a drought, and the northern hemisphere's growing season is just starting. Not only that, but remember, the amount and the availability and the quality of the fertilizer that they're going to be using is going to be down, okay? Just because of the Gulf, the crush in the Gulf, okay? So, yeah, it's... The U.S. is facing a possibility of a drought that was similar to that in 1610 that wiped out the Jamestown colonists. Well, I think we have a little more technology available today. But oh, that's a National Water Dashboard. You can go to the United States Geological Service, USGS, and you can see all the drought water data across the United States. Okay, and you can see where things are good and well, things are bad. So be aware. I guess and awareness is probably, you know, kind of one of the most and biggest things that we can deal with today. Okay. Yeah. So Starmer under fresh scrutiny over the Epstein fallout. You know, we never hear about who Epstein said he worked for. Yeah, Evelyn Rothschild. I would think they would have been put on the top of the list of terrorist organizations. They should be. The central banks, you know, basically terrorist organizations, financial terrorism today. Whoa, 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 whoa. Here you go. Nationwide recall. That's right. A nationwide recall of Xanexes. That's right. Xanex XR is being pulled from the market after failing to meet quality control standards according to the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. Pharmaceutical company Viatris Incorporated voluntarily recalled Xanax, alprazolam, and extended release 3 milligram tablets in middle of March after the drug failed to meet dissolution specifications, meaning the pills may not properly release the correct dosage into the bloodstream over time. So, yeah, of course, cats are at it again. Man, I can't wait to get all that straightened out. But anyway, yeah, so be aware that these drugs are, drugs are manufactured and produced, and they, sometimes there's mistakes. Sometimes people and companies actually hide the side effects. So, people will not, there it is. Cuba's Bay of Pigs victory celebration. Don't worry, next month Donald Trump's going to be figuring out a way to put troops on the ground in Cuba. Okay. I mean, we already have Guantanamo Bay, all right? So we have theoretically, we already have boots on the ground, okay? Bay of Pigs, Cuba, there was a celebration as they pointed to a patch of sand in Cuba's Bay of Pigs, showing the spot where the U.S. trained the Cuban exiles that had landed. The Cuban exiles were transported there by, I guess, American boats. The weapons were transported through Zapata oil on a tanker named the Barbara. In fact, to understand, Zapata oil was owned by Herbert Walker George Bush. That's right. So when you want to talk about the Bush family and the Crackin' America boys and the CIA, yeah, there you go. You should understand that Herbert Walker George Bush is one of the biggest traitors to America that you could ever imagine. He is also involved in the assassination and cover-up of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. It's a deep rat's nest. So yeah. Let's see, where are they at here? The next great tech leap may be built on videos of people folding laundry. You know, it's gonna be pretty bad because they're gonna take all your YouTube videos, all of your fishing videos, all of your hunting videos, all of your hiking videos, all even videos of watching paint dry. I mean, I don't know who in the hell has a channel Watch Paint Dry, but there is one. Um, um, they're training robots now using AI and motion, watching the motion of your hands or the manipulation of your digits and fingers. All right. They are literally mimicking humans today. This mimic style stuff is exactly what is going on. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer thinks that Don Trump will pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, well, if he does, I hope they fucking impeach his ass. Yeah, I'm telling you, Ghislaine Maxwell, the 1,000 young girls that were molested in the Mossad Israeli Rothschild fucking network. Listen, I don't have no fucking, I have zero compassion for child molesters, child rapists, and users and abusers of young people. I really have zero use for any of these fucking sons of bitches, okay? So yeah. They say it's going to take 2 years for the world to recover from this energy shortage that happened under Donald Trump and the Iranian conflict, war, negotiations by strength. I don't know what you want to call it. They just call it deep state world domination 2.0. So yeah, gas theft is rising. Really? Nah, really. Yeah, it's sheer crazy. Okay. What else we got here? Watch food porn now. Yes, people, psychologists and psychiatrists are inviting people or telling people go watch food porn. If you have a craving for chocolate, pull up a video of a chocolate fountain and people dipping stuff in it and eating and having their time. Yeah, literally. So start watching junk food videos, and your appetite will be suppressed. Oh my God, it's so bad now that they're telling people that you just have to watch a video and you've already eaten. Oh, your brain is gonna think it's eaten. So if you sit down and you watch a video of somebody eating a meal, does that mean that you ate? It's about as much as a chick with a dick, okay? About as much as a tranny, all right? I mean, hey, if you put sunglasses on, does that mean you're trans blind? Because you can at least partially see in the sun? I'm just asking. I mean, it's just, one of those stupid things on Facebook you see. Anyway, yeah, it's sheer crazy, okay? But understand what they are doing and what they are pushing, okay? Is the psychological constructs that you visualize. They want you to internalize and make real inside and feel that inside. And it's like a Trump derangement syndrome with Krispy Kreme donuts on top. Man, I used to love their donuts. I still do love their donuts. But I'll tell you right now, ain't no fucking way I'm paying $20 for a dozen donuts. Just plain simple whatever donuts. Oh, $22 plus tax for the others. No, ain't happening. It's good, it's delicious, but it's not fucking happening. Okay, I've literally stopped once in 5 years and got some donuts. Okay, so yeah, it's they're crazy. Okay. What else we got going on here? Craziness, idiocracy. Is there any shortage of it? No. Scientist claims there are 7 dimensions. Wow, 7 dimensions, Um, it might sound like the Matrix, but our scientists now say that our universe has 7 dimensions. Okay, you have height, you have length, you have depth, and you have time. Okay, now physicists argue that there are 3 extra folded layers of reality. Far from being a science fiction, researchers believe it could solve one of the most stubborn problems in the history of physics. In the 1970s, Hawking realized that black holes emit radiation slowly, evaporating away as time goes. The problem is that it appears that it violates one of the quantum physics of black holes, where black holes, nothing escapes. Well, if nothing escapes, how can they emit radiation? How, because the radiation is escaping. Yeah, I don't know what exactly a black hole is, Maybe it's just some place where everything gets compressed and then all of the energy itself just gets dispersed over time. These things aren't, fed like you and I, so we don't know, from birth to death along the lines of black holes. But, I believe there are other parallel existences of life, okay? There has to be. There has to be. Because what I saw, I didn't see a black hole. I saw a white light. And the 2 ghosts that were over here, they went into that light as soon as it appeared. It was a life-changing event for me. Or I'd probably be dead by now, overdosed or fentanyl or some other drug of stupidity. Yeah. Anyway, it is. There's a lot of things we think we understand, but the truth is, if you look at the last 100 years, if you look at the science, the actual science, in the journals and in the books and everything that people really believed, from 1900 forward, what we know today is a whole different scientific truth. Okay. And we have to be careful, and we have to be aware that science is essentially controlled by the corporations and the government. They want to control it, because without that control, they don't have any power. It's harder for them to come up with excuses as to why we should elect all these corrupted assholes to Washington, D.C. So, yeah. Madison Square Garden, the epic, what do you call that, venue, is basically a surveillance machine. Anyway, literally everything, almost even what is said within the building is surveilled and recorded. anyway, MSG Entertainment declined to specifically comment on the story in Wire.com about Dolan and the activities of his security teams. Company spokesman said the story is built on false, misleading, and unverified allegations, including claims drawn from lawsuits filed by rapacious litigators. We categorically reject such reckless reporting and are evaluating our legal options against Wired.com. I guess Wired.com has essentially did an expose on the security and the security services. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. When she sat down, when she ordered her drink, when she went to the bathroom, when she took the elevator, Nina Richards went to a New York Knicks games quite a bit, she said. The security guards used the arena's network cameras to follow her. New Yorkers have had a long time knowing that a game or concert at the Garden meant surrendering some privacy. But what they didn't realize is the depth of the privacy that these fans were losing. Owner James Dolan has a watch list of basketball fans who dared criticize his management. Who cares? It's a child's game. I should care more, but I really don't. Madison Square Garden, you're in somebody else's house. Now, there should be legal disclaimers. And, that the creepy security guards can follow your camera or follow you with cameras anywhere you go. If you bend over inappropriately, or if you adjust your top, they may get a flash. I'm just saying. It's a really bad thing. Okay. So yeah. What else we got going on here? I guess we need to get over here and see what's hot in the news. Of course, Donald Trump hailing Iran, the full reopening of the Hormuz Straits, and the question about the nuke will come along next. Okay. Trump administration has said publicly now that they're investigating the disappearances and deaths of U.S. national security personnel. I mean, really. Oh, man, that didn't take long. Black Cat 6, a U.S. Navy MQ-4C Triton high-altitude surveillance drone, has been flying 12-hour missions over Cuba. Yesterday they did, but let's be honest, there is no security, and there is no computer security, and there is no realization of privacy anywhere in the world anymore. If you believe in privacy, the biggest part of it is between your ears. Everything else, well, they can see your privates right out in the open. The emperor is naked. You are naked. The internet and AI has essentially stripped you bare. Government has found you wanting, and they really don't give a shit. That's the truth that nobody's saying. Okay, so yeah. Hopefully, in the next 6 weeks, they have 6 weeks of jet fuel left in Europe. That will not be a good thing. Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, I would be willing to bet that all of Iran's ships are already leaving the port and moving towards China. Yeah, that's probably the next stop on them. What else we got? We got all kinds of different news that I didn't get to. That one idiot influencer, Clavicon or whatever the fuck he calls himself. He hurts himself and he mutates himself. Okay. Now, online, he does live streams, fucking himself up. I guess, like a S&M, a mutation thing. I don't know. It's sad state of affairs, man. There is a woman arrested I think she was in Florida, but I'm not 100% sure. She was from Brazil, and she came to the United States and was doing, breast implants and tummy tuckers and body fillers and butt bumpers or whatever the fuck they want to call them. So, your ass looks like it just fell out the back of a fucking truck or something. God help us. Yeah, a couple people died, and she's on trial, and I mean, she was injecting cement, literally cement, stuff from the auto parts store, silicone, all kinds of shit. She was injecting this into people that were willing to pay for it. Oh my God. It just shows how sideways life can go for people at times. The DOJ petitions the court to toss convictions of the unpardoned people in the January 6th event. Okay, so yeah, I think it's 6 defendants total yet that need so-called relief, and American Reichstag is exactly what it was and what it will be. Thanks, everybody, on Rev Radio. We'll see you Monday. God willing, I really hope so. We'll see you then. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell them over there, but I expect to be on Revolution Radio maybe 2 shows this weekend, maybe 3 if... I'd love it if some people might join me, but I don't really do a lot of sharing and all that other stuff over on Rev Radio. But man, I am telling you, people are way out there, man. They found out that gift card fraud, they shut down a ring of gift card fraud people, and what were they doing? They were sending the gift card money directly back to the CCP Army. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But yeah, we're at war. Remember, everybody should know and realize politics is war by another means. And you must attack it as such. So be well, everybody, and take care. The last convoy exits Syria before we exit here. The last convoy exits Syria after what they're saying is a 14-year regime change proxy war. I think you about 35 years too fucking short, numbnuts. Yeah, the operations against the Assad's father started in 1975. So wake the fuck up. Understand how long the U.S. has been working for quote unquote regime change in Syria. 14 years or whatever. Give me a break. You're just stupid. You make yourself looking retarded. Meanwhile, speaking of retarded, the last story right here. Watch this show to the very end, because the last few minutes you're going to say, "You've got to be kidding. I would have never expected that." A 19-year-old Afghan has been arrested for a series of rapes. That's right, a series of rapes in France. That's right. The 19-year-old Afghan national is arrested after farmers put cameras in their fields because their sheep and their goats were getting violently raped. Can you believe they actually kept him in jail without a bond? My God, listen, in the UK or somewhere else, if you rape a little girl, you just get right the fuck out. But by God, if you rape goats and sheep, you just, man, we're going to slam the fucking door on you. You're not getting out. Faces up to 3 years in prison and a €45,000 fine for acts of cruelty to domesticated animals. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. God bless you. And remember that you do change the world every day. Thank you for all you do. God bless. Good day. And good luck. Thanks, Five. Thanks, Johnny. And, well, thanks, everybody. God bless you. Yeah. So, take care. Oh, man, son of a bitch. Well, looks like we got to